You ever had that gut feeling somebody's messing with you, but you can't prove it yet? That's how this whole thing started. I'd spent 12 years living easy on my little patch of Texas dirt. Just me, my tools, and the kind of peace you only get when your neighbors are a mile away. And the only thing louder than the cicadas at night is your own thoughts. Didn't matter that the land was wedged up against the back fence of Maple Hills. Yeah, the fancy gated neighborhood where everyone waves but nobody means it. I kept to myself. Fixed up old trucks by day, cracked a cold one with the shop door wide by night. That's living, if you ask me. But it never stays that simple, does it? At first it was just small stuff. I lost a 50-foot extension cord, big orange one hard to miss. Figured I left it at Rick's or maybe one of the neighbor kids borrowed it. No big deal. Couple days later, though, my pressure washer's gone. Gas-powered DeWalt. I'd just used it to knock grime off a radiator. Gone without a trace and my lock still tight as ever. I started asking around. Rick said he'd lost some scrap metal too. Thought it was some kids hunting for beer money, but it started itching at me. So I start paying real close attention. Next thing, my mower disappears. Not just any mower, my Husqvarna custom handle, red powder, coat the works. I keep her clean, always tune her up, and then she just walks off in the middle of the night. Now I'm a patient man, but this felt personal. I walked the fence line, nothing cut, nothing broken. Called the sheriff's office, filed a report. The deputy was friendly enough, told me to keep things locked up tight. Sure thing, buddy. But the list kept growing. Circular saw ladder, my old blue toolbox stuff started vanishing like smoke. You know what really got me? Whoever was doing it was careful. No mess, no tracks, just gone. It was like someone knew exactly what to grab and how to get out. I hadn't gotten around to cameras yet, should have I know. I finally ordered a set motion-triggered cloud linked the works. But while I was waiting for them to ship, I started thinking maybe it's not just me. Next morning, I drove over to check on old Mr. Barnes 2 lots over. He's got a shed full of vintage lights, sells them at flea markets. Sure enough, he's missing a brass porch lamp. Thought he'd lent it to family, but now he's not so sure. It hits me someone's targeting folks who aren't in the HOA. I didn't have proof yet, but I was done playing defense. I locked up like Fort Knox, cataloged every tool set, reminders to check every lock every night. Then the garage sale happened. Maple Hills throws one of these a couple times a year, but this time there was something off. Lawn chairs lined up like parade day tables with hand-lettered signs and everything way too organized for a normal neighborhood clean-out. I wasn't even planning to stop until I saw my own mower sitting front and center, custom handle, red paint, couldn't miss it. Right beside it, my ladder, same dent by the hinge, and my blue toolbox with the duct tape still on the handle. It was like walking into a museum of everything I'd lost. The whole thing was labeled donated items only, and all proceeds go to the beautification fund with the HOA president's name, Karen L., printed right underneath. You ever feel your blood pressure just skip the line and head straight for the moon? That's what happened to me. I started taking pictures slow and steady, every angle I could. Then I called the sheriff's office and told them I had evidence of theft in progress. 15 minutes later, 2 deputies show up. One's the same guy who took my report on the mower. I show them my photos, my serial numbers, receipts. We walk up to the organizer's table, and there she is. Karen pastel sweater, tied around her shoulders. Smile so tight it might snap. She chirps. Officers, is there a problem? I tell her that's my mower, my tools, my ladder, all sitting right there. She laughs. Says everything was donated. I ask her for documentation, who donated what, when anything. She just stammers about community spirit. The deputy asks again, and she gets cagey. I'm thinking, you ever seen a cat try to talk its way out of a bath? They start cataloging the items, and I point out more shop lamp breaker bar, even Barnes's porch lamp. Karen starts to crack. Her hands are shaking, but she's still acting like she owns the place. Deputies tell her not to sell or move anything, and I just back away. No words left. I sit in my truck watching the sun climb up over the rooftops, my stuff sitting in the open, tagged for charity. But I wasn't done. That night I installed my cameras, took inventory, and came up with a plan. I built a fake shed, looked like it might hold something valuable, tarp over the top, old padlock on the front. Inside, just junk, and old drill with a GPS tracker buried in the handle toolbox marked with UV dye. The real deal was I wanted to see who'd bite. 5 nights later, at 2:15 in the morning, my phone goes off. Motion detected. I check the camera feed. Sure enough, a hooded figure sneaks in, picks the lock, grabs the decoy gear, and slips off. Next morning, my tracker pings from a little ways inside Maple Hills, right near the HOA's community center. By noon, it's inside the maintenance shed. I call the deputy, hand him the footage, GPS logs everything. He says it's enough for a warrant. That evening, they raid the HOA shed. Turns out it's packed to the rafters with stolen gear, my tools, Rick's, scrap Barnes's, lamp stuff from half the folks along the edge of Maple Hills. They even find a binder, maps marked up with notes like, "No HOA tools visible, backyard accessible." There's a spreadsheet, garage sale, inventory, item codes, values, cash logs, and every dollar ends up in Karen's PayPal. It blows up from there. News spreads. People start coming out of the woodwork. Anonymous emails, old board members, folks with their own stories of missing stuff or perks from the HOA for keeping quiet. One woman, Laura, used to be on the board. She admits Karen ran a whole favor system covering for folks who helped her, waiving fines, giving away gear from the sales. She hands me an envelope of warning letters and internal emails, all signed by Karen. Now we've got enough for a class action. I get a civil litigator, Morgan, on the case. He's a bulldog, sharp as they come. We start pulling in everyone who got burned, folks who lost property, got threatened, even bought their own stuff back at a markup. By the end of the week, there's 15 of us. Karen doesn't know it yet, but the ground under her feet is about to collapse. When they arrest her, it isn't dramatic. No sirens, no cuffs. Just a cruiser pulling up. Karen walking out calm as you please, probably thinking she'll talk her way out of it. In court, her lawyer spins a tale about misunderstandings, no intent to steal, just a casual donation system. Morgan lays it out: flat maps, receipts, GPS video. Laura testifies about the secret perks and intimidation. Miguel, another neighbor, admits he bought a chainsaw last year, realized too late it had his own initials scratched under the handle. But here's the twist. The DA finds out Karen tried to claim nonprofit status for the garage sales but never finished the paperwork, yet still used it to dodge taxes, accept donations, the works. That's fraud on top of everything else. When the judge hears that he's done listening, plea deal denied, they're coming after her for theft, fraud, obstruction, racketeering. Yeah, racketeering like some suburban mobster. After court, Karen snaps. 3 nights later, my cameras catch her burning documents in her backyard, HOA logs, donation sheets, even PayPal records. I call it in deputies, and fire marshals show up, haul away melted folders and USB sticks. They find evidence of off-the-books cash payments to board members, even more missing gear. Now, it's not just Karen they're investigating, half the board freezing, the HOA's account seizing devices. Maple Hills falls apart. The county shuts the HOA down. Pending audit, residents turn on each other. Folks show up at my door, returning tools and mumbling apologies. Some board members vanish. One guy tries to start a podcast about HOA reform and gets roasted off the internet by episode 3. But others, they try to do right. I get thank you notes. Even Banana Bread didn't eat it but kept the note. And the ending, Karen gets 12 years in county lockup. No more pearl necklaces, no pastel sweaters, just a jumpsuit and a cell. Most of us got our stuff back, a few things lost to time, but enough. The class action settled for over $1 million, paid off my truck, bought me a new lift, and let me breathe easy for the first time in years. The best part: my new sign at the driveway. Private property. I have cameras. The HOA doesn't speak for me. Folks respect that more than any threat of fines ever did. Maple Hills is rebuilding, trying to wash off the stink. As for me, I work, I lock up, I sleep through the night. Sometimes I still catch myself watching the road, waiting for the next pastel-wrapped wannabe dictator to try her luck. But I'm ready now, got cameras, a good memory, and a town that finally remembers who owns what. So let me ask you, what would you have done if it was your stuff, your land, your peace? Drop your story below. Tell me where you're watching from. And hey, if you've ever had an HOA cross the line, you know you're not alone. Justice might be slow, but man, when it comes, it feels just right.